Hello there. Yesterday, the Met Police and others in London decided that it was time to beat and arrest those who were protesting against little girls being slaughtered. I was there opposite Downing Street. I live-streamed it and I talked to many people. None of those I talked to were there to cause trouble. They just wanted to protest at our establishment's stupid open-door policy and its two-tier policing that has led to so many tragedies across this now blighted land. And now we have this.
You've run into me. You've just all... I've got a pacemaker. I've got a pacemaker. I've got a pacemaker. And they've just arrested me for walking up here.
No, to reach the section 35.
Oh, because they're... You want to do them any tighter?
That's why I'm trying to lock them so they can stop getting tight.
Well, actually, you're really tightening them.
Well, I'm not.
You really are tightening them and you're really making me... You what?
So can you relax?
You joking?
For 5 seconds.
Are you joking? I've never been arrested in my life.
Madam.
I have, don't you miss, don't you, I have never been arrested in my life. I'm 73 years old and I've come here because of them babies who's died and I'm being arrested.
Now, I live-streamed as much as I could, but emptied my battery. However, by that point it looked like things were calming down, so I thought, OK, I might be on my way to the pub shortly. But that's exactly when it got, shall I say, interesting. The police had started to kettle us in, and then started targeting people in the crowd for arrest, sending in snatch squads. Not so for BLM, where the Met took the knee in droves. Not so for Leeds, where they ran with their tails between their legs. You get the idea. Now, I would normally assume the snatch squad activities would be targeted and intelligence-led, but it seems not. Anyone would do. The crowd there in general was not hostile. They were just waiting to be allowed to leave the area. But the Met had other ideas, and the mainstream press was on their side of the fence, ready to pounce at every snatch squad operation, foaming at the mouth to get the juicy shots. And I seem to have missed the videos and images in the mainstream press of one protester having his head used as a punch bag. I thought that was a red area for police percussion operations. Remember Manchester? And social media has many stories of the innocent being swept up as an example to others. I was also reliably informed that 2 15-year-olds were lifted. What will this have done to them? Made them compliant little citizens? Or something else? And there is a video clip circulating X where you can hear one copper saying, "Just lift anyone." And it seems that Martin Daubney of GB News fell into that category. He was also arrested for a time. Now, why were the press not amongst the crowd on my side of the fence, talking to ordinary folk? Where were they? If they were there, they must have been incognito. Or are they all just establishment mouthpieces? Well, here's what the BBC wants you to do.
One note of caution, always be careful. It's important to check all the sources. They might not be giving you the full picture, or they might have made, an innocent mistake. So you need to be careful. Only use those sources that you trust. Are they likely to have accurate information on the story? How much checking do you need to do? Depends on the type of source, but it's usually a good idea to check the information with at least 2 different sources. That's our policy. So we have truth and accuracy, 2 of the BBC's basic news values. The audience need to trust you, and that depends on you being accurate. They're important values, and they'll help you become not just a reporter, but a trusted school reporter. One more important bit of advice: to protect people under the age of 18, you must only use their first names in reports. Never use surnames, okay? That's a good policy too. So good luck finding the new stories. Have fun. and we'll talk again.
Enough said, I think, don't you? And now we get this from GB News. The Metropolitan Police have awards available only for black officers, leading to claims the Met is institutionally racist against white people, GB News can reveal. Met officers were sent an email ahead of Black History Month asking for nominations for officers of black heritage who had shown leadership skills, displayed excellence or adversity in their job. If white officers aren't up for these awards, then either the Met hierarchy is racist, or the white officers are, or both. Now, you've all seen last night's events all over social media, so I don't need to labour the point. So, question: has the establishment, via their Met puppets, managed to scare the UK public into meek, silent compliance? And as to calls to ban the EDL, a long since abandoned outfit, it just shows where the establishment head is, or isn't. So I assume that Keir Starmer's government will double down on all this state anti-UK activity. Now, is it so wrong to shout, rage and protest at what you see as the destruction of your society and your whole way of life, to the advantage of newcomers who insist on that change? Is it wrong to make it known that you heartily object to such insidious activity? Why is it that everyone's heritage on the planet is so valued by our establishment, except that of those of the ordinary natural population of the UK? Now, the alleged Southport perpetrator has been named, as he turns 18 in a few days' time, but we're still none the wiser on anything else. But I'll leave you with a chilling thought. We don't need violence. But the left uses spurious arguments to justify the use of violence on their own side, and then have a go at the police in the rare event they get heavy-handed with the mates of the left. But the left then decries anything the ordinary people do, and smiles smugly as the police march in prepared to crack skulls of the right, as they did last night. And our authorities are so enthralled to the woke that they now seem to enjoy picking on ordinary concerned members of the public. I fear this will not end well. Finally, there is only one thing worse than inciting violence, and that is inciting compliance with evil. Anyway, over to you, dear viewers. What have you got to say about all this? Right. Who said this? Jeff ran away yesterday. I was there until the end, I can assure you. I was there. Even through all the kettling and the police charges, I was there. And people saw me there, so no, I was there all the time. Right. What's this one? Starmer making a statement on what he calls the far right in 2 hours. Yes, what he's going to be telling you all is that the far right, that is ordinary people, ordinary concerned people, people he wishes to silence, the silenced majority, are getting vocal, and he does not like that. He will point to the cans that were thrown, all the rest of it, but people are now getting to the end of their tether. I'm not saying violence is the way ahead, but it seems to work for the police, doesn't it? And the lefties love doing it, and themselves. What we've got to do, though, is be better than them and try and ratchet back on all of that. We don't need it. We can actually win through argument and force of emotion. And as long as we start rediscovering our Christian values and our Christianity, we will win through. Here's another one. Jeff ran when they called last orders. Actually, it was all over a bit before that, but I did manage to make last orders. But yeah, I was after trying to get to the pub. because I needed a drink. It was actually very thirsty work. I got rid of 2 bottles of water. Someone else had to top up my bottle from their they had some electrolytes in their water, and that helped me a bit. But it was very thirsty work, and it was getting a bit past it by then, so I wanted to get out. But the police wouldn't let us out. Oh, that's a good one. The Met is the biggest gang in London. Yeah, you do have to wonder, don't you? You really do have to wonder whether which side they're on, because they don't seem to be on our side. So they are a gang for someone, but it doesn't seem to be a gang for people like you and me. UK people stay for UK. Crisis King from Belgium, I think that's from. Yeah, UK people stay here for the UK. We've got to do that. Yes. How can we expect Starmer to care about Southport? He kept Savile out of prison. We must be the only country that such a person is allowed to run it. Yes, of course, Mr. Keir Starmer, Sir Keir Starmer, would actually say that Sir Jimmy Savile, that he had nothing to do with that particular case, and that he had no say over it at all. Okay. Who ordered the kettling? Well, that would have been a set procedure. As soon as there's a hint of any violence and any misbehaviour by the crowd, they want to get in there and make their presence felt and teach you a bit of a lesson. Don't do that again. In fact, please don't come back again is the overall message. Don't come back. And the sort of misbehaviour that was there last night, I'm hoping it's not going to put people off coming to future events. I'm hoping we can to curtail that side of things so that we can begin to make our voice heard and our emotions heard and our presence seen, and that is really important. Yeah, and I do have to wonder, actually, when I'm reading through some of the comments on social media, how much of this was actually initiated, should I say, by the authorities or authorities within. There were a few people wandering around. If anyone's watched my live stream, you will have seen a couple of people wandering around, and I have no idea who they were. And they looked a bit shady, and they seemed to be egging things on, which I wasn't very happy with. In fact, quite a lot of people there were not happy with that activity, and one even was trying to confront them and shout at them to stop them, but it wasn't having any effect. So we just have to be very careful about these things. When Rayner talks about thuggery and violence, she must have been staring into the mirror. Yeah. Yes, well, the left are very much on the thuggery and violence. So they think it's just like the eco-loons. They think exactly the same. I have the high ideal, you don't, and because you don't, I can use violence against you. It won't be overt physical violence, but I'll stop your ambulance getting to a hospital. I'll stop you driving to work. I'll stop you getting to work. I'll come and damage your bank so that your bank charges go up, etc. It's yeah, that's all they're interested in. Right, I gather there's a super thanks from KIRS10. Thank you very much for £10. Yeah, I mean, it also, I've just found it. It talks about hate marches when they climbed all over the cenotaph. Our people generally tend to, on the right or whatever, not the right, but the ordinary people will get arrested because it's easy for the police to arrest them. What they don't do it is do it to a certain demographic who is likely, in the end, to descend on the police station involved. Now, I wonder if any of the police stations of the people who were arrested last night had people descending on them in massive force to get them released. Just a thought. Oh, there's another super thanks again. Thank you very much. IF Doffler, I think it is, I've been told. It's very difficult for me to keep Here's a nice one. Come on, you, Jeff Taylor. Yeah, well, I do my best. Actually, yesterday was a bit of a shall I or shan't I job. Only not so much because of of anything that might happen, but I don't live anywhere near London. It took me 3 hours to get to London. Then I had to stay overnight as well. So it was a bit of a rush around in the morning to get there once I'd heard about it and organise, accommodation, all this sort of stuff. I managed to do it. But I'm just hoping. I also have not massive wherewithal, but I had the wherewithal yesterday to be able to do that. A lot of people don't, and we have to remember that. Oh, by the way, there is an event on, is it the 7th of September in George Square in Glasgow, I think it is. It's online. There's another event coming up. That's going to be, I think it's going to be along the lines of what happened on the 27th, just on Saturday the 27th. So that will give a lot more people up north and a chance to get involved. It's these sorts of events that we've got to really push. The really positive, big message, lots of people waving the flag and all the rest of it, so that we can push and make sure that everybody around the country knows. At the moment, what we've got is a lot of what I would say is physical activity going on around the country, and that's building. We've got to be careful about that. What I'd rather see is the positive message coming out at these big events in cities. A minute. Can I just see this one? Jeff, you did well not to get arrested. Saw your video last night. Yeah, it's quite funny. I felt quite comfortable. Being former military, I'm quite used to some of the sort of hustle and bustle of life, as you would put it. So I never felt in any sort of risk or danger at all. Only when you get too close. If you get too close to the police in that circumstance, you've got to understand their hearts are racing. They don't know what's coming next. I mean, if you watch the live stream, you'll see that at one stage I was stood there talking about what was going on. I turned over my shoulder and no one was there. They'd all decamped and rushed off to Westminster Square or Parliament Square. So I rushed along there after them and stayed there, where there was a couple more arrests and of people. And then suddenly I was there and I turned round to look round what was going on, and they were halfway on their way back to Downing Street. Now, I think that little exercise was what caught everyone out, including the authorities. And it caught me out because I didn't know it was going to happen. I don't know what these plans are, but it did sort of catch me out. So I was rushing around, and I'm just going to have to get on the treadmill and learn how to run again. Someone's just saying there's one. Oh, what's this one? Well done, Jeff. Speaking the truth is rare. Well, I say people think I speak what I see as the truth. Other people may take an opposing view. But I just do the best I can. And when I see what were hundreds of police officers absolutely, ready for anything, and you're thinking, is anyone listening to us? Is anyone listening to us? Or are they shouting at us and telling us to just off, And that's what I get. That's what I get from all of this. People are telling us to do what they say. All your concerns mean nothing to them. You will be railroaded over. And then we get sort of active protests going on. They should be listening to us and dealing with the problems, not just deciding to stoke up a huge great train, put us on the tracks and ride over us. It's not right. I mean, so this time for us Scots to get involved. Yeah, hopefully that Glasgow event will give you that opportunity. So yeah, I'm really hoping for that. Sorry, I've just had a message coming in. Oh, it's gone. So gone. Yeah, system is sort of working. Oh, here's one from Outer Cosmos. From one ex-Matlow to another. Oh, thank you very much. That's a donation, super thank or super chat, whatever they call it. Yeah, thanks very much from an ex-Matlow. Yeah, we're a bit of a club, us ex-Matlows. Yeah, in fact, it was quite funny. I was meeting up with, I don't know whether you saw the live stream, quite a few military guys yesterday. They're all hidden out there, especially amongst the older generation when the take-up of armed forces, personnel from school, etc., was very, very high in those days. So you used to have, everybody knew a soldier or a sailor or an airman. Everybody knew one, and every family had them in there. Everybody, and the Houses of Parliament was full of them as well. So you always had this idea about veterans. You always had an understanding of what the military are up to. Nowadays, no one has a clue because we got so few of them out in the community. And then they're being told to hide away in case an event happens like happened to Lieutenant Colonel Teton. So, uniforms, a bit dodgy out there. We need them out. We need them here with us. We need to know who they are. We need them here. They defend us. How dare we try to put them in the cupboard? It's not right. Can we start a fund to help with travel expenses to attend these rallies? Yeah, that might be a very good idea, because there are people who can't afford it. There has been talk of doing exactly what the lefties do, laying on coaches from various places, but that's not come to fruition yet. I think that takes a bit of organisation, because you, instead of sort of reacting and saying we'll do it tomorrow, you're now talking about we've got to think a month to 2 months ahead to get the coaches, hire the coaches. But the real problem here, is that the left finds out. They find out the names of the coach companies, and you know the rest. They're on them like a rash. You're taking racists here, you're doing this, that and the other. That's what they do. So the coach companies in fear pull out. So we've got to think up more, maybe to issue people with bicycles. No, we've got to get a way of getting people to these events, even the people who normally can't afford it. Yeah, you're right. Right, what else have we got here? Disgraceful police behaviour, picking on the most elderly peaceful there. Resigned Starmer, Khan, Cooper, Rowley, no confidence in this government. Yeah, it's funny how the government is actually, generally, the people that were there were the grandmothers and grandfathers. Just listen to what they said to me. I'm here because those kids were the same age as my grandkids or as my great-grandkids. They're the same age. They're little toddlers. They're ready to enjoy their life and grow up. And suddenly, it's all cut short. And they feel that. They really do feel that. Do you expect them just to coldly roll over and accept all this? Yeah. Anyway. Calm down, Mr. Taylor. These comments are coming through thick and fast at the moment. So what's this one? I5, is that MI5 doing the work for the Crown? Well, I've said this before. The intelligence services, the police, the Army, Navy and Air Force have all got one aim, and that is to defend the state. Not to defend the people, because it's the people who go into the Army, Navy and Air Force or get forced in there during times of war to defend the state. People die to defend the state. The state is what they defend. So if the state says you've got to do this to defend the state, they do. And we sort of got you to get your brain around that. The thinking being that if you defend the state and it still exists, then the state can protect the people that are left. You get the idea. Right. God, I can't keep up with this. Oh, wow, stop with the Christ. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. No, that's completely wrong. Completely wrong. Without faith, this country is falling apart. Just look around you. Do you know why a certain demographic is so strong and growing stronger within all of this because they have a total and unequivocal faith in their own religion. Total and unequivocal. Something that you will not defeat by a few laws that they can get around. No. You need a faith of your own. And if you don't believe in something that out there that's bigger than you, then we just end up as chemical robots. And I don't think we're just chemical robots. Christ is the truth. Right, where else are we going? Oh dear. It's just going so fast. I can't. Let's see if I can go back a bit and. Yeah, only just started watching, so do not know if you covered this, but the fact that a GB News reporter was handcuffed only goes to show the indiscriminate nature of what the police do. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if it's just anybody, pick up any... Why would they pick up Martin Daubney? All seems a bit strange to me. Yeah, anyway, let's move on. We will save ourselves. Now, it is up to us to save ourselves. We can't just vote blindly, red, then blue, then red, then blue with a tinge of yellow, then red, then blue and red, and think it's all going to change. We have to change. We have to come to terms with what we need to do to change in order to change the nation. Not change the nation, but get it back, change its path, change the direction it's going in. You only have to look at things like the Olympics opening, and you think to yourself, that's a bit awful, a bit evil looking, and we're part of that. We're all just part of that. My telephone is ringing, and I'm going to give it a good stiff ignoring, so if you can hear it, I'm sorry. Anyway, Richard's laughing about it, so... Yeah, this is a very good thing to say. C of E have surrendered and are on board with the C of E have surrendered their faith. The C of E hierarchy is now just a woke social services setup. That's all it is. That's all it does. So I can't see anything coming from the C of E hierarchy direction. But it doesn't decry that doesn't mean that Christianity is wrong. It definitely does not. It just means that the people at the top have lost their total direction. Anyway, Christianity is verboten now. Yes, well, that's very true. They don't like it at all. They don't like Christianity at all. What's this one? Make Britain great again. Make our streets safe and prosperous again. From Simple Jack. Thanks very much, Jack. Yeah, we've got to make our country cohesive, coherent with its own self, comfortable with its own self, loving its past heritage, loving its future. At the moment, I think most people are fearful for where the future is taking us with this current crop of politicians. Now, a lot of people say, they're just useless. Oh, no, they're not useless. They know exactly what they're doing. They know the direction they are taking us in. Be in no doubt. If they wanted to change direction, they could do it. They are not doing it because they accept it and they are taking you along whether you like it or not. An Italian female Olympic boxer quit after 1 minute due to her opponent being, well... This is really the ridiculousness of it all. Why not just say, okay, we won't have women in sport anymore. It'll just be between men. And then it's just absolutely ludicrous, this whole situation. So the sooner this is sorted out, the better. At the end of the day, you're either one or the other, and that's it. And what you feel, it doesn't come into it. Oh, there's another super chat there, but I couldn't keep up with it. Oh, where's it gone? It just disappears off all these comments come through and they disappear so fast. Right, here's a good one. Protect the children. The children are our future. I'll say that again. The children are our future. The trouble is we're not having enough of them. And if we're not having enough children, we're not bearing enough children in this country, that makes them even more valuable, doesn't it? We should be looking after them, nurturing them. And we should be making sure that they grow up as good citizens of the future for this country, who believe in this country, who love this country. But our educational system has got other ideas. They don't want them loving this country. They want them doing everything to destroy this country. And that's half the problem. Well, maybe 90% of the problem. We've got to sort this out. Police have always had contempt for the people. Just look at... Oh, sorry, it doesn't go on from there. Now, in my younger days, I didn't see it like that at all. But nowadays, I'm becoming very cynical about what the police are up to. The police are actually meant to be, policing by consent, locally, with the people. They know the people locally. But they're turning from being a local bobby into being a vast paramilitary reaction unit, so that when the state doesn't get its way, they deploy the reaction unit, the tactical support group or whatever, the TSG and all the rest of it. And that seems to be where we're going. Why didn't a politician come out? Why didn't someone come out and talk to us? Ever thought about that? Ever thought about someone sitting down with us? They never do want to sit down with us. All they want to do is have you sit down with the police and agree something, and then as soon as you step out of line, they get all over you. Anyway. I'm getting a very dry throat at the moment. So I don't know how long this has been going, but I've got to be doing something else later on this afternoon. It's really great to talk to you all and hear your views and watch what you've got to say. So thanks very much indeed, and I hope you enjoyed what I did last night. Wasn't perfect. I had a few issues, battery as well. So I'll have to take extra power with me next time. Might take a diesel generator, that might help. And thanks very much to everybody who came up to me last night and had a little chat. Very much appreciated. And it's the sort of thing that throws light on the truth of the situation. Most people just want to get on with their lives, and they do not want to feel that the government is changing everything against them for the benefit of someone else. I mean, I'm a vested interest. I qualify for the state pension, so I would have qualified for the heating allowance at the end of the year. Now, this taking away that heating allowance from me, okay, I can probably do without it. But there are so many people out there who've got it stripped away from them who can't. It's another attack on the elderly. The elderly who by now can't do anything else. You can't go to work. They've got too many illnesses. I'm extremely lucky. Extremely lucky. But it doesn't mean to say they can just come along and strip things from you which they promised you that you would get years and years and years ago. Not only that, the Labour Party said if the Tories had talked about that, taking away anything from the pensioners a year ago, the Labour Party would have gone into meltdown. It would have been, right-wing fascist thugs from here to everywhere, but they're doing it themselves now. That just shows you they're all the same. They are all the same. Don't believe them. Don't listen to them. And always protest against anything they do, because we are now the opposition. There is no opposition. There is no opposition. Even the Reform UK party is too small to do anything. The real opposition is out here, on the streets, telling them to go and do one. Anyway, thank you all for listening, and have a great afternoon and a better evening. Thank you.